Success isn't something that just falls into your lap. It doesn't come from wishing or waiting for the perfect moment. No, success is built brick by brick through consistent effort and an unshakable work ethic. If you want to achieve greatness, you've got to be willing to put in the work day after day, even when no one is watching. Think about it. The people who rise to the top aren't necessarily the ones with the most talent or the best opportunity. They're the ones who show up every single day, rain or shine, ready to give their best. They don't wait for inspiration to strike. They create it themselves through action. That's the secret sauce. It's not magic, it's discipline. And discipline isn't always glamorous. In fact, it can feel downright hard sometimes. But here's the thing. Hard work has a way of paying off in ways that shortcuts never will. When you commit to cultivating an unyielding work ethic, you're making a promise to yourself. You're saying, I'm worth more than mediocrity. I'm capable of more than excuses. Every time you push past discomfort, every time you choose progress over procrastination, you're building momentum. Momentum creates confidence, and confidence fuels even more action. Before you know it, you're unstoppable because you've trained yourself to keep moving forward no matter what. Now, let me ask you this. What are you willing to sacrifice for your dreams? Because success demands trade-offs. Maybe it means saying no to distraction. Maybe it means getting up earlier or staying up later. Maybe it means doing tasks that aren't fun but are necessary. Whatever it takes, you have to decide ahead of time that you're all in. Half-hearted efforts lead to half-hearted results. But when you go all in, when you pour your heart and soul into what you do, amazing things start to happen. Here's the truth. Hard work isn't just about achieving goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle those achievements. You see, success isn't just external, it's internal. When you develop an unyielding work ethic, you're not just chasing outcomes, you're shaping your character. You're proving to yourself that you're reliable, that you can trust yourself to follow through on your promises. And that sense of self-respect, that's priceless. So how do you start? Simple. Start small. Take one step today that moves you closer to where you want to be. Then take another step tomorrow. Don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on being persistent. Over time, those little steps add up to big results. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, but they were laying bricks every hour. Be like the builders of Rome. Stay steady. Keep stacking those bricks. And listen, there will be days when you doubt yourself. Days when it feels like nothing is working, like all your effort is going unnoticed. On those days, remind yourself why you started. Think about the life you're trying to build, the example you're setting, the legacy you're creating. Let that vision pull you forward, because at the end of the day, success isn't about instant gratification. It's about delayed satisfaction, the kind that comes from knowing you earned every bit of it. So go out there and get to work, not because someone is forcing you, but because you owe it to yourself to become the best version of who you are. Put in the hours, stay committed, and watch as your world begins to transform, because the only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. Break free from those limits, and you'll find that success isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Let's talk about something real for a moment. Let's talk about the grind, the hustle, the relentless pursuit of what you want out of life. Because here's the deal. No one is coming to save you. No fairy godmother is going to wave her wand and make your dreams come true. No knight in shining armor is riding over the hill to hand you success on a silver platter. If you want it, and I mean really want it, you've got to roll up your sleeves and go after it. And not just once or twice, but every single day. The world loves to celebrate overnight successes, doesn't it? We hear these stories all the time. Someone who was struggling one day and then suddenly hit the jackpot the next. But let me tell you something. Those overnight successes almost always have years of hard work behind them that nobody talks about. Years of failure, rejection, learning and growing. What looks like luck from the outside is usually the result of countless hours of effort that no one's. So if you're waiting for lightning to strike, stop waiting. Instead, start working. You know, there's a misconception out there that talent is the key to success. People say, oh, they're so lucky, they're naturally gifted. Sure, talent helps, but talent without discipline is like a car without gas. It might look good sitting in the driveway, but it's not going anywhere. Talent can give you a head start, but it's your work ethic that keeps you moving forward when the road gets tough. And trust me, the road will get tough. There will be obstacles, setbacks, moments where you feel like giving up, but the people who succeed are the ones who keep pushing through, even when it feels impossible. Think about athletes for a sec. The greatest athletes in the world didn't get there by accident. They trained harder than anyone else. They practiced when they were tired, sore, and didn't feel like it. They stayed late, showed up early, and did the extra reps when everyone else went home, because they understood that success isn't given, it's earned. And the same principle applies to you. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, a parent, or anything else, whatever field you're in, whatever dream you're chasing, the formula is the same. Show up, put in the work, and don't quit. Now, some people might tell you that working hard means burning yourself out. They'll say you need balance or don't forget to take care of yourself. And sure, self-care is important. You can't pour from an empty cup. But let's not confuse balance with laziness. Balance doesn't mean doing less. It means managing your energy so you can do more. It means taking care of your body and mind so you can perform at your best. Working hard doesn't mean neglecting your health. It means prioritizing it so you can sustain your efforts over the long haul. And speaking of long-term thinking, that's another critical piece of the puzzle. Too many people focus on quick wins, instant results, and immediate gratification. But real success takes time. It requires patience, persistence, and the willingness to play the long game. You can't plant a seed today and expect a tree to grow tomorrow. Growth takes time, and so does achievement. So instead of looking for shortcuts, embrace the process. Love the grind. Find joy in the journey, because that's where the real magic happens. Here's the thing. When you commit to putting in the work, something incredible starts to shift inside you. You begin to develop resilience. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome, makes you tougher, smarter, and more capable. You start to realize that failure isn't the end. It's just part of the process. It's feedback. It's information you can use to improve. When you adopt this mindset, nothing can stop you because you're constantly learning and evolving. But let's be honest, staying motivated isn't always easy. There will be days when you wake up feeling unmotivated, uninspired, and downright exhausted. On those days, you've got to rely on something deeper than motivation. You've got to rely on habit. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, but habits are reliable. They're the foundation of consistency. When you build strong habits around your goals, you don't need to wait for inspiration to strike. You just do the work, day in and day out, until it becomes second nature. So how do you build those habits? Start small. Tiny actions compound over time. Want to write a book? Start by writing 100 words a day. Want to get fit? Start by doing 5 push-ups. Want to learn a new skill? Spend 10 minutes practicing. These little actions might seem insignificant at first, but they add up faster than you think. Before you know it, you've written chapters, gained strength, or mastered a skill, all because you showed up consistently. even in small ways. And while we're talking about consistency, let's address something important: distractions. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, TV shows, endless notifications, they all compete for your attention and pull you away from your goals. But here's the truth: you can't afford to let distractions derail you. Success demands focus. It requires you to tune out the noise and zero in on what matters most. That means setting boundaries, saying no to things that don't align with your priorities, and protecting your time like it's gold. Because it is. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to do too much at once. They spread themselves thin, juggling multiple projects and responsibilities, only to end up overwhelmed and burned out. Don't fall into that trap. Instead, focus on one thing at a time. Give it your full attention, your full energy, and see it through to completion before moving on to the next thing. Multitasking might sound impressive, but it's actually counterproductive. When you try to do everything at once, you end up doing nothing well. So simplify, prioritize, master the art of doing less but better. Another key to developing an unyielding work ethic is surrounding yourself with the right people. Who you spend your time with matters a lot. If you're hanging around people who are negative, lazy, or constantly making excuses, guess what? Their mindset will rub off on you. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with driven, positive, supportive individuals, their energy will lift you up and push you forward. Seek out mentors, peers, and friends who inspire you to be your best self. Learn from them, lean on them, and let them guide you toward greatness. Of course, none of this is possible without belief. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that your hard work will pay off even if you can't see the results yet. Doubt will creep in, it always does, but you can't let it win. When doubt whispers in your ear telling you that you're not good enough or that you'll never make it, you've got to shout back louder. Remind yourself of your why. Why are you doing this? What drives you? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Keep that vision alive in your mind and let it fuel your determination. And remember, success isn't just about personal gain, it's about contribution. It's about adding value to the lives of others. Whether you're building a business, pursuing a passion, or climbing the corporate ladder, ask yourself, how can I serve? How can I make a difference? When you approach your work with a mindset of service, everything changes. Your efforts take on greater meaning, and you find fulfillment in knowing that your hard work is impacting others positively. Let's also talk about fear for a moment. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to success. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. It can paralyze you if you let it. But here's the secret: fear isn't the enemy. Fear is actually a sign that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, that you're growing. The trick is to acknowledge your fear, feel it, and then move forward anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in spite of it. So the next time fear tries to hold you back, thank it for showing up and then keep going. Another powerful tool in your arsenal is gratitude. Gratitude transforms your perspective. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, from what's wrong to what's right. When you practice gratitude, you train your brain to look for the good, even in challenging situations. This mindset shift is crucial because it gives you the strength to persevere. Instead of getting bogged down by problems, you start seeing opportunities. Instead of dwelling on setbacks, you celebrate progress. Gratitude fuels optimism, and optimism fuels action. Now let's talk about the role of failure in your journey. Failure is inevitable. Everyone fails at some point. It's part of being human. But here's the beautiful thing: Failure isn't fatal unless you let it be. Every failure carries a lesson, a nugget of wisdom that you can use to improve. The most successful people in the world have failed countless times. They just refuse to give up. They use their failures as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. So the next time you stumble, don't beat yourself up. Analyze what went wrong, adjust your approach, and try again. Persistence is another hallmark of an unyielding work ethic. Persistence means refusing to quit. No matter how tough things get, it means bouncing back from rejection, disappointment, and frustration. It means staying committed to your vision even when others doubt you. Persistence separates the winners from the wannabes. It's what turns average performers into extraordinary achievers. So when the going gets tough, and it will, dig deep. Find that inner fire, that stubborn determination, and keep pushing forward. At the same time, it's important to recognize the power of rest. Rest isn't laziness, it's recovery. Your body and mind need time to recharge so you can continue performing at your peak. Think of it like a race car. Even the fastest cars need pit stops to refuel and check their tires. Without those breaks, they wouldn't last long in the race. The same goes for you. Take time to rest, reflect, and rejuvenate. Then come back stronger, sharper, and more focused than ever. Let's circle back to the idea of growth for a moment. Growth should be at the center of everything you do. Never stop learning, never stop improving. Whether it's reading books, taking courses, seeking feedback, or experimenting with new ideas, always be striving to expand your knowledge and skills. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you stagnate. Stay hungry. Stay curious. Keep reaching for more. Let's dive a little deeper into the mindset that fuels an unyielding work ethic. It all starts with ownership. Taking full responsibility for your life and your outcome. You see, successful people don't play the victim. They don't blame their circumstances, other people, or bad luck when things don't go their way. Instead, they look in the mirror and ask themselves, what can I do differently? That sense of accountability is powerful because it puts you in the driver's seat. When you take ownership, you realize that you have the power to change your situation. You're not at the mercy of external forces, you're in control of your destiny. Now, this kind of mindset doesn't come naturally to everyone. In fact, most of us are conditioned to look outward when things go wrong, to point fingers, make excuses, or wait for someone else to fix our problem. But here's the truth. As long as you're waiting for someone else to step up, you're giving away your power. The moment you decide to take responsibility for everything in your life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is the moment you reclaim that power. And once you have it, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Another critical piece of the puzzle is clarity. Clarity about who you are, what you want, and why you want. Without clarity, it's easy to get lost in the noise, to drift aimlessly from one thing to the next, without ever making real progress. So take some time to reflect. Ask yourself, what does success look like for me? How will I know when I've achieved it? What steps do I need to take to get there? Write it down. Make it specific. The more clearly you define your goals, the easier it becomes to create a roadmap for achieving them. And speaking of roadmaps, let's talk about planning. Planning might not sound glamorous, but it's absolutely essential if you want to turn your vision into reality. A solid plan gives you direction. It breaks down big, overwhelming goals into manageable, bite-sized tasks. It helps you prioritize your time and energy, so you're always working on the things that matter most. But here's the catch. A plan is only as good as your ability to execute it. So don't spend so much time perfecting your plan that you never actually get moving, even if your plan isn't perfect. You can always adjust along the way. One of the biggest challenges people face when trying to cultivate a strong work ethic is dealing with setbacks. Setbacks are inevitable, they happen to everyone, but how you respond to them makes all the difference. Some people let setbacks crush them, others use them as fuel to come back stronger. The key is to reframe your perspective. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, see them as opportunities to learn and grow. Every setback carries a lesson. Maybe you need to tweak your approach. Maybe you need to acquire new skills. Or maybe you just need to be patient and keep going. Whatever the case, setbacks aren't the end of the road. They're detours pointing you in the right direction. Another important factor is consistency. Consistency is what separates the amateurs from the pros. Anyone can work hard for a day or two, but true champions show up every single day, even when they don't feel like it. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum creates results. Think of it like rolling a snowball down a hill. At first, it's small and slow, but as it keeps rolling, it picks up speed and size until it becomes unstoppable. That's how consistency works. The more you show up and put in the effort, the bigger and faster your progress becomes. Now, consistency doesn't mean perfection. Far from it, you're going to have off days. Days when you're tired, distracted, or just not feeling it, and that's okay. What matters isn't that you never miss a beat, it's that you keep coming back. Progress is messy, and that's part of the beauty of it. As long as you're moving forward overall, you're on the right track. Don't beat yourself up over a bad day or a missed opportunity. Just regroup, refocus, and get back to work. Let's also talk about the importance of celebrating small wins. Too often, we get so focused on the big picture that we forget to acknowledge the little victories along the way. But those small wins are crucial because they keep you motivated. They remind you that your efforts are paying off, even if the ultimate goal still feels far away. So take a moment to celebrate each step forward. Did you finish a tough project? Pat yourself on the back. Did you stick to your routine despite feeling unmotivated? Give yourself credit. These moments of recognition reinforce positive behaviors and keep you energized for the journey ahead. At the same time, it's important to stay grounded. Success can be intoxicating, and it's easy to let it go to your head. But humility is a hallmark of truly great people. Humble people understand that they didn't get where they are alone. They recognize the support of others, the lessons learned from failure, and the grace of timing and opportunity. Staying humble keeps you connected to your roots and reminds you that success isn't just about personal glory. It's about lifting others up along the way. Another aspect of staying grounded is managing expectations. Sometimes we set unrealistic standards for ourselves, expecting overnight results or flawless execution. But growth takes time, and perfection is unattainable. Instead of striving for perfection, strive for progress. Focus on getting a little better each day. Small, incremental improvements add up over time, and before you know it, you've made significant strides. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the role of passion in your work. Passion is often misunderstood. People think you have to love every single thing you do, that every task should feel exciting and fulfilling. But the truth is, passion isn't always about loving the work itself. it's about loving the purpose behind it. You might not enjoy every step of the process, but if you believe in the bigger mission, it gives you the motivation to push through the tough parts. Passion fuels perseverance, and perseverance leads to success. Speaking of which, let's address the elephant in the room: fear of success. Believe it or not, many people sabotage their own progress because deep down they're afraid of what success might bring. Will they be able to handle the pressure? Will others judge them? Will they lose sight of who they are? These fears are valid, but they shouldn't hold you back. Success is a journey, not a destination. It evolves as you grow, and you'll find that you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. Trust yourself to rise to the occasion. Finally, let's touch on the concept of legacy. When you commit to cultivating an unyielding work ethic, you're not just building a life for yourself, you're leaving a mark on the world. Your actions, your values, your contributions, they ripple outward, touching lives in ways you may never fully realize. Whether it's through your career, your relationships, or the example you set for others, you have the power to make a lasting impact. So think beyond yourself. Think about the kind of legacy you want to leave behind. Let that vision inspire you to give your best every single day. Remember, the journey to success isn't linear. There will be highs and lows, twists and turns. But if you stay committed to putting in the work, if you embrace the grind and trust the process, you'll find that success isn't just something you achieve, it's something you become. One final thought before we wrap this up: success is contagious. When you commit to cultivating an unyielding work ethic, you inspire others to do the same. Your dedication, your passion, your refusal to settle for mediocrity, it rubs off on those around you. You become a force for good, a catalyst for change. And that's how legacies are built, not just through individual achievements, but through the ripple effect of inspiring others to chase their own greatness. So go ahead, embrace the grind, celebrate the struggle, trust the process, because when you cultivate an unyielding work ethic, you unlock doors you never knew existed. You create possibilities that once seemed impossible, and you prove to yourself beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Success isn't handed to anyone, it's earned through consistent effort, discipline, and an unyielding work ethic. When you commit to showing up every day, taking ownership of your actions, and pushing past discomfort, you become unstoppable. Remember, it's not just about achieving goals, it's about becoming the kind of person who can handle those achievements. Stay focused, stay humble, and keep moving forward. Your journey may be tough, but the rewards are worth every step. So go out there, embrace the grind, and prove to yourself that you're capable of greatness. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. Break free from them, and watch as your world transforms.